Hello everyone, I am Shavani Surve, currently working as an assistant professor. Welcome to the Science Hub. Today I am back with another topic called menstrual cycle. So we would be studying the different phases or events of the menstrual cycle which need to occur regularly inside the body of a female, indicating proper functioning of the different parts of the female reproductive system. So initially we would be studying different terminologies associated with menstrual cycle, and then it would be followed by the study of different phases of the menstrual cycle in detail. The reproductive cycle occurring in female primates such as monkeys, apes and humans would be referred to as the menstrual cycle. The menstrual cycle in human females is also known as the ovarian cycle or the uterine cycle because it actually constitutes occurrence of different changes inside the ovaries and uterus of a human female. This cycle actually comprises of a series of events which start from one menstruation till the next one. This cycle is going to repeat itself after a period of around 28 days in general, but if we consider the general population, the cycle would repeat itself or recur itself after every 28 to 35 days, and during this particular cycle, the egg or ovum is going to be produced and released by the ovary, which will be followed by the development of the uterus or preparation of the uterus for future pregnancy. So I would be explaining a few terminologies associated with the menstrual cycle. So the very first term is menstruation. Menstruation actually refers to a process during which menstrual blood is going to be discharged through the vagina. During this process, the inner lining, that is the endometrial layer of the uterine wall, gets ruptured, which would lead to the release of different components such as blood, broken blood vessels or ruptured blood vessels, broken endometrial layer cells, other secretions of the female reproductive system, unfertilized egg, etc. So all these components would together make up the menstrual blood, and that menstrual blood would actually be discharged through the vagina, which is getting formed as a result of rupture of the inner lining of the uterine wall. In common language, sometimes menstruation is also referred to as periods. Then the next term is menarche. Menarche actually refers to the first menstrual cycle of a human female. It refers to the first time wherein the process of menstruation occurs inside the body of a human female. Menstrual cycle actually begins at the time of puberty. So the age range wherein menstrual cycle would actually begin in case of a human female would be between the age of 9 to 15 years, but in certain cases it might specifically begin at around the age of 12 to 13 years. But the actual age at which the menstrual cycle is going to start, that would vary from female to female. Menarche, meaning the first menstrual cycle, would mark the beginning of the reproductive age in females. Then the next term is menopause. The menstrual cycle, which begins at the time of puberty in case of a human female, it would continue up to the age of around 45 to 50 years, after which the menstrual cycle is going to stop completely. This period wherein the menstrual cycle stops permanently is referred to as menopause. Menopause occurs because as women age or as they approach the age of 45 to 50 years, the oocytes undergo depletion inside the ovary, and because of that particular process, menopause would result, which refers to the permanent cessation of the menstrual cycle. So the average age around which menstrual cycle would stop or the age around which menopause would begin would be between 45 to 50 years. In certain cases, menopause would begin even before the age of 45, or it might take even much longer to begin. The menstrual cycle has been divided into 4 different phases. First, menstrual phase, second, follicular phase, third, ovulation phase, and fourth, luteal phase. So we would be studying all the 4 different phases of the menstrual cycle in detail according to the sequence in which it has been mentioned. So the menstrual cycle would begin with the menstrual phase, which is also known as the bleeding phase, wherein actually the process of menstruation is going to occur. Then it would be followed by the occurrence of the follicular phase, wherein the follicles inside the ovary are going to undergo certain developmental changes, which will lead to the development of the egg inside the ovary. The follicular phase would be followed by ovulation phase or ovulatory phase, which would actually refer to the release of the egg from the ovary. After the egg has been released by the ovary, it would be followed by the last phase of the menstrual cycle called luteal phase, wherein the unfertilized egg is going to be released out of the body. Then this would again be followed by the menstrual phase. So this is how actually the cycle goes on and repeats itself after around a period of 28 to 35 days. The first phase of the menstrual cycle is referred to as the menstrual phase. It is also known as bleeding phase because it refers to the process wherein menstrual blood is going to be discharged through the vagina of the female. So menstrual flow is going to occur during this particular phase. This phase extends from the 1st to the 4th day of the menstrual cycle. It occurs because the egg or ovum released by the ovary does not get fertilized. During this process or during this phase called menstrual phase, menstrual blood gets formed inside the female reproductive system because the endometrial layer or the inner lining of the wall of the uterus gets ruptured. Due to the rupture of the inner layer of the wall of the uterus, certain components are going to be released such as broken endometrial layer cells, ruptured blood vessels, etc. So menstrual blood which is going to be discharged through the vagina, it would actually be comprised of many different components such as unfertilized egg, ruptured blood vessels, broken endometrial layer cells, cervical secretions, meaning secretion or fluid which is given out by the inner wall of the cervix, vaginal secretion, meaning secretion or fluid which is given out by the inner wall of the vagina. All these different components would come together and form the final liquid which would actually be discharged through the vagina, which is known as the menstrual blood. Around 35 to 45 ml of blood is lost during this particular phase, but the amount of blood that has been lost during this phase might vary from female to female. Because the endometrial layer gets ruptured or broken down, its thickness is going to get reduced. So the thickness of the endometrial layer becomes around 0.5 to 1 millimeter. So with respect to this particular image, this refers to the uterus, and this inner red colored layer actually refers to the innermost layer of the wall of the uterus called endometrium. So during menstrual phase actually the endometrial layer is getting ruptured, and as you all can see in this particular image, the menstrual blood, that is how is going to be discharged through the vagina. During this particular phase, there occurs a decrease in the level of the hormones called progesterone and estrogen. Progesterone is a hormone which maintains the growth and development of the endometrium of the wall of the uterus. So if the level of progesterone is going to reduce down, it would lead to the rupture of the endometrial layer. and that is why menstrual blood is going to be discharged. The process of menstruation may get affected by certain factors such as poor health condition, poor diet, stress, etc. The second phase of the menstrual cycle is known as the follicular phase. The first phase, called menstrual phase or bleeding phase, is going to be followed by the second phase called follicular phase. It is also known as pre-ovulatory phase because it is the phase which occurs before the ovulatory phase, which is the third phase. The second phase of the menstrual cycle, called follicular phase, actually extends from the 5th to the 13th day of the menstrual cycle. This phase is going to be characterized by the regeneration of the endometrial layer of the wall of the uterus. So this phase would actually mark the beginning of the development of the endometrial layer, which got ruptured during the first phase of the menstrual cycle. The regeneration of the endometrial layer of the wall of the uterus is actually characterized by repair of the ruptured blood vessels and development followed by enlargement of the glands of the endometrial layer. During this particular phase, changes are going to occur inside the ovary as well as the uterus. Changes which occur inside the ovary are that certain kind of follicles are going to get developed inside the ovary. In an ovary, there are around 8 to 12 primary follicles. Those primary follicles are going to develop into secondary follicles. Out of those secondary follicles which have developed, only one secondary follicle would develop into a fully mature Graafian follicle. These are the changes which occur inside the ovary, which would be known as ovarian changes. And all the changes which occur inside the ovary are controlled by FSH hormone, follicle stimulating hormone. So the FSH, follicle stimulating hormone, would actually induce the primary follicles to undergo development to form secondary follicles, which would undergo development to form one single mature Graafian follicle. So this follicular development inside the ovary is actually stimulated by FSH, follicle stimulating hormone. Then certain changes occur also inside the uterus. As the endometrial layer is getting regenerated, which means that the endometrial layer is going to increase in terms of its thickness. The thickness of the endometrial layer becomes around 3 to 5 millimeter thick. It occurs because the endometrial layer cells are getting proliferated. The endometrial layer is getting regenerated. The ruptured blood vessels are getting repaired and the glands are getting enlarged. And that is why the thickness of the endometrium layer gets increased. So because the endometrial layer cells are growing, they are proliferating, that is why this phase is also known as proliferative phase. Most of the changes which occur inside the uterus, they are controlled by the hormone called estrogen. So the ovarian changes are going to be controlled by the FSH, follicle stimulating hormone, and changes which occur inside the uterus, they are going to be controlled by estrogen specifically. So there are certain gonadotropins present such as FSH, follicle stimulating hormone, and increase in the level of this particular hormone would actually constitute the development of those different follicles inside the ovary. This is what it constitutes the follicular phase, because the follicles inside the ovary are going to undergo certain developmental changes. The follicular phase of the menstrual cycle is followed by the ovulatory phase. The ovulatory phase occurs on the 14th day of the menstrual cycle, or it can be said that it actually occurs during the middle of the menstrual cycle. It actually involves the process of ovulation, which refers to the release of an egg or an ovum from the ovary. This entire process or this phase is actually going to be controlled by luteinizing hormone LH. During the ovulatory phase, as the process of ovulation occurs, there are certain changes which are going to occur inside the ovary. In the second phase, called follicular phase, there are certain primary follicles which get developed into secondary follicles. Then out of those secondary follicles developed, as I had said before, only one would get developed into a complete mature Graafian follicle. So that Graafian follicle which was developed in the second phase of the menstrual cycle, that Graafian follicle would get ruptured and it actually bulges out of the ovary and it releases the egg or the ovum. Why does the mature Graafian follicle get ruptured? It is because there occurs a sudden rise in the level of the hormone called LH, luteinizing hormone. So because of a sudden increase in the level of the hormone called LH, the mature Graafian follicle, which is actually present inside the ovary, it would get ruptured and it actually bulges out of the ovary slightly and it would release the egg or the ovum. So the rupture of the mature Graafian follicle would lead to release of the egg or ovum from the ovary. And why does this occur? Because of a sudden increase in the level of luteinizing hormone. So the egg that has been actually released from the ovary by a process called ovulation, that egg is going to be collected by the fimbriae of the fallopian tube. So what the fimbriae are actually finger-like projections which are present on one end of the fallopian tube. So those fimbriae are going to collect the egg which is released from the ovary, and then the egg is going to be swept further into the fallopian tube. So the ovum or the egg which is collected by the fallopian tube, it is going to be viable for about 24 hours for fertilization, meaning this egg can undergo the process of fertilization. It is capable enough to undergo the process of fertilization with the male gamete called sperm. During this phase also, the endometrial layer of the uterine wall is going to continue to grow or regenerate. That is why its thickness would increase accordingly. So the process of regeneration of the endometrium would continue in this phase also. The ovulatory phase of the menstrual cycle is going to be followed by the last phase of the menstrual cycle, which is known as the luteal phase. The luteal phase is also known as post-ovulatory phase because it actually occurs after the ovulatory phase. This last phase of the menstrual cycle extends from the 15th to the 28th day of the menstrual cycle. So if we consider a single menstrual cycle to be lasting for around 28 days, because it actually recurs after every 28 days. So if we consider one cycle to be lasting for around 28 days, then this would be the last phase of the menstrual cycle, which begins on the 15th day. After the mature Graafian follicle has been ruptured, the ruptured portion of the Graafian follicle undergoes certain developmental changes to form a structure called corpus luteum. So during the third phase, the mature Graafian follicle would get ruptured and it would release the egg or the ovary. But the ruptured portion of the Graafian follicle would remain inside the ovary itself. So during this last phase of the menstrual cycle, that ruptured Graafian follicle undergoes development to form a structure called corpus luteum. This development of the ruptured Graafian follicle into corpus luteum is actually facilitated by luteinizing hormone LH. This process of development of the corpus luteum, it actually begins during the third phase itself, but major development of the corpus luteum actually occurs during the fourth, which is the last phase of the menstrual cycle. So once the corpus luteum has been developed from the ruptured Graafian follicle, that corpus luteum is going to secrete two hormones called progesterone and estrogen. And then these two hormones called progesterone and estrogen, they would prepare the uterus for the future pregnancy. Because over here, as I had told you all before also, that progesterone hormone actually maintains the growth and development of the endometrial layer. So if the levels of the hormone progesterone and estrogen, if they have increased, then accordingly the hormone progesterone would help the endometrium layer to regenerate or to increase in terms of its thickness. So if the endometrial layer gets developed properly, if it proliferates properly, then accordingly it would help in the maintenance of pregnancy in future, because the egg which would get developed into embryo, that embryo actually gets implanted into the endometrial layer of the uterine wall. So if the level of the progesterone hormone gets increased because it is actually getting secreted by corpus luteum, then that progesterone hormone would actually help in the development of the endometrial layer of the uterine wall. And then that is how it would actually, these two hormones would actually help in the preparation of the uterus for the anticipated pregnancy. The endometrium layer grows and it becomes about 5 to 6 millimeter in terms of its thickness. By this particular phase, the glands which are present in the endometrial layer, they have enlarged and they would start secreting a liquid or a fluid which is known as uterine milk. The uterine milk which is secreted by the glands which are present in the endometrial layer, that uterine milk is rich in glycogen and it would actually help to nourish the anticipated embryo. Meaning if in future embryo gets implanted into the uterus, then the glands which are present in the uterus in its endometrial layer, those glands would secrete uterine milk which is rich in glycogen, and that uterine milk would actually provide nourishment to the embryo that has been implanted in the uterus. If embryo gets implanted in the uterine wall, specifically in the endometrial layer of the uterine wall, then in that case the corpus luteum which was developed, it is going to be maintained for around 3 to 4 months. So the corpus luteum is going to be maintained for 3 to 4 months till placenta develops. Once placenta has developed after a period of about 3 to 4 months, the corpus luteum would get degenerated. Placenta is going to take over the function of secreting hormone called human chorionic gonadotropin HCG, and it is considered to be pregnancy specific hormone, because initially when the embryo gets implanted into the uterus, the corpus luteum is going to be maintained for around 3 to 4 months till placenta gets developed. Once placenta has developed, it would start secreting the hormone HCG, human chorionic gonadotropin. Once placenta starts performing this particular function of secreting HCG, the corpus luteum is going to degenerate. Then, once corpus luteum has started to degenerate, placenta would also take up the function of secreting progesterone, and that is how pregnancy would be maintained. So, as I already told you all, progesterone would maintain the thickness of the endometrium. So then that is how the embryo would remain fixed, or it would remain implanted into the endometrial layer, and that is how it would actually help to maintain the pregnancy. If in those cases wherein the embryo did not get implanted into the uterine wall, or if fertilization did not occur, then in that case pregnancy would not occur. So in such cases, the corpus luteum which was developed during this phase, it would start degenerating. If corpus luteum starts degenerating, then the level of progesterone would decrease, because corpus luteum itself was secreting the hormone progesterone and estrogen. So if corpus luteum gets degenerated, then accordingly the levels of the hormone secreted by corpus luteum called progesterone and estrogen, they would also get decreased. And if the level of progesterone hormone is getting decreased, then the endometrial layer would not be maintained. It would not be able to maintain the thickness of the endometrial layer, and then that is why the endometrial layer would rupture again, and then it would again result in the process called menstruation, which refers to the first phase of the menstrual cycle called menstrual phase or bleeding phase. That is how the next menstrual cycle is going to begin. So this is how the entire process of menstrual cycle actually occurs inside the body of a human female. So again, followed if pregnancy is not present, if pregnancy has not occurred, then in that case it would lead to the first phase again called the menstrual phase. Again bleeding would start. Then it would be followed by the follicular phase. It would be followed by the ovulatory phase, and then again it would be followed by the post-ovulatory phase. If pregnancy occurs in that case, then menstrual cycle would stop for the next 9 months at least. But if pregnancy does not occur, then in that case again it would lead to the beginning of another menstrual cycle by beginning of the menstrual phase or the bleeding phase. So lastly, I would summarize the menstrual cycle. The menstrual cycle actually comprises of 4 different phases. The menstrual cycle recurs after a period of around 28 days. It might range between 28 to 35 days. The first phase of the menstrual cycle is known as the menstrual phase or the bleeding phase, which refers to the discharge of the menstrual blood through the vagina. It occurs due to the rupture of the endometrial layer of the uterine wall because of low levels of progesterone and estrogen. Then the second phase of the menstrual cycle is actually known as the follicular phase, which is also known as proliferative phase. So the endometrial layer undergoes certain kind of process of regeneration wherein gets developed again, which leads to increase in the thickness of the endometrial layer. During this process also, the mature Graafian follicle is going to get developed inside the ovary. So it is known as the follicular phase because follicular changes or follicular development actually occurs inside the ovary. Then the third phase of the menstrual cycle is known as ovulatory phase, which involves the process of ovulation, which refers to the release of the egg from the ovary because of sudden increase in the level of luteinizing hormone. Then this is going to be followed by the last phase of the menstrual cycle, which is called as the luteal phase. It is also known as secretory phase because it releases the uterine milk also during this process. It secretes certain kind of hormones called progesterone and estrogen. So it is also known as the secretory phase. This last phase actually is characterized by the development of the corpus luteum from ruptured Graafian follicle. That corpus luteum would secrete progesterone and estrogen, and then both the hormones are going to actually help to maintain the uterus or to prepare the uterus for future pregnancy. If embryo would get implanted, then pregnancy would occur and menstrual cycle would get stopped for the next 9 months at least. But if pregnancy does not occur, meaning if the embryo does not get implanted into the uterine wall, then again the corpus luteum which was developed during this phase, it would get degenerated, which would lead to decrease in the level of progesterone hormone being secreted, and that is why it would lead to the rupture of the endometrial layer, leading to the onset of the next menstrual cycle by beginning of the menstrual phase or the bleeding phase. So with respect to this particular image, you all can see how during the first phase called menses, actually the endometrial layer gets reduced in terms of its thickness, then it starts regenerating, so the thickness of the endometrial layer would get increased accordingly up to the fourth phase, as you all can see over here. Starting from the second phase up to the last phase, the endometrial layer continues to grow in terms of its size or thickness. But if pregnancy does not occur, again it would lead to the rupture of the endometrial layer, starting the next menstrual cycle with the beginning of the process of menstruation. So again, the endometrial layer would get reduced down in terms of its thickness. So that is how actually the menstrual cycle would proceed, which actually consists of the 4 different phases. So this was all about the topic called menstrual cycle. We have seen how the cycle actually proceeds through different phases. So thank you so much for listening to me. Please visit www.thesciencehub.in for more information. Thank you.